and they're here to tell you all about a very exciting 200-miler. We welcome to the program Randy LaJoie, driver of the Kleenex Chevy for Evans Motorsports. More on that later. Hank Parker Jr. is here, driver of the Trim Spa machine for Bruco Racing. And our guest host this week is Ron Hornaday, driver of the AC Delco Chevy for Richard Childress Racing. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I said you took time away from a special occasion to be here, and I wasn't talking about St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we better say something about that, huh? It's,
no, you better.
Yeah. 24 years. Been married today on St. Patrick's Day to my lovely wife, Lindy. It's been exciting.
Who is here in the studio, and we appreciate her loaning you to us for the next hour.
Yeah, I think, 72 hours Darlington was enough, and get done with this. We'll go out to dinner and try to find a green barley pop, as they call it.
A barley pop?
Barley pop.
Okay, I thought that was a leprechaun.
No, that's a Bobby Allison term of beer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
barley pop.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we got you figured out.
Busch beer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, green Busch.
Did they make that in green?
Oh, I don't see why not.
Couple of them, they'll be green.
There you go. Let's talk about your race today, Ron. Started 15th, finished 9th in the AC Delco car.
Exciting. I just got to thank all the guys. We didn't go there and test. Johnny tested. We found a little bit out. We finally got happy hour and then changed some stuff on it. Just the car was just a little bit tight off the corner, and then for about 8-10 laps, and then she really got loose. So I just chased it most of the day. We don't want to make big changes because Johnny tested so good there and everything, but I was happy with the AC Delco car. It ran good all day. We just some of them guys stayed out there and never pitted for fuel, and some did, and some of them squeaked in there. I think we should have top 5, but we'll take that. It put us 4th in points, so we're looking good.
Appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you.
Hank started 14th, finished 6th today. Good run for you.
Yeah, we had a good run. I mean, it's my last race in the Trim Spa car, and, I got to thank Clarence Brewer and those guys. They gave me a great opportunity, and, kind of like Ron there, I would start off tight, and then I would get loose, but, we just, all in all, it was an uneventful day for us. We didn't get in any trouble, or I didn't bump Randy this time, so.
You didn't hit nobody?
I didn't hit anybody. I didn't hit the wall. I didn't hit anything.
And you finished good.
I finished okay.
See, you don't have to hit nobody to finish good.
I learned something today, so it was a good race for us, and just hopefully get something put together for the future.
And whether you know it or not, you got some good lobbying on TV today from DW and Mike and all the rest of them. We're
really
kind of.
So I spent my money wisely.
Wow,
I guess.
this is good. That's right.
I gave lots of money before the race.
So, guys, I get to wear my sponsor, AC Delco, and Hank got a little comment.
Yeah, see, I'm still bare. Still waiting. To be announced.
TBA. Okay, good deal.
He's got a naked shirt. We'll hope that gets fixed soon. Mr. LaJoie started 12th. Things were looking good for a while, and then something went clunk.
Yeah, it did. Well, it started on Friday. I mean, we had off the truck, our car was very, very good. And then, when you race with the 10 car, we practiced Friday afternoon with the 10 car, and it was very strong. And then we go in today, and the car was very strong. The guys had great pit stops. And it was after one of the yellows, we come back out and whistled down into turn 1 and got on the gas. And the car travels a lot, and you're very close with low air pressure. You bottom out every once in a while. Well, it bottomed out pretty hard out of 2. And I was like, oh, boy, what was that? And I said, well, we must have lowered air pressure. Whistled down the backstretch and went into turn 3, and I was like, oh, look out, because that thing just turned sideways and had all I can do to keep it off the wall. And I said, guys, we broke a shock. But it wasn't a shock. It was the sway bar chain broke.
Another $5 part.
Yes,
wow.
sir, Ray.
But, so you were running a soft spring setup.
Yes, we were, and we needed a sway bar.
Yes.
And we had a very good race car. It was fun. The guys had a great job in the pits today, and we had a good weekend. Off the truck real fast, and at the start of the race, I run with Ron, and I seen Hank a little while, but I could pull away from him, and I was like, we're going to have a good run today. And I knew how fast we were. Had a good pit stop, got us to 5th. Just started to get the belts tight, and snap.
I really think something else happened. Tell them the story about getting out of your car in the rain delay.
Friday afternoon.
Yeah, a little dot in your head.
Started to rain Saturday. It started to rain. And, they put the cover on the car, and I go to get out of the car, and the cover's here, so I wanted to stay low. And when I did, I run right slap into the window vent. And I said, oh, that's going to leave a mark. And then you get out, and I feel blood running down the side of my face. I was like, oh, boy. So Delana Harvick was there, and she hooked me up with some Kleenex. We blasted the hole, and we're good to go.
Even got the sponsor plug out of bleeding from the forehead.
That's good.
You said something about the Piggly Wiggly wiggled or something like that.
Yeah, my Piggly was wiggly coming out of the window.
Okay, let's check the top 10 finishers from Monday's DarlingtonRaceway.com 200. Todd Bodine picked up the win, his first at Darlington, in a spectacular run to the checkered flag, which we will show you coming up shortly. On the way, we take you through all the highlights of Monday's very exciting Busch Series race. You'd think Sunday's finish was good. Wait till you see this one.
Inside the NASCAR Busch Series is brought to you by smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Head for the mountains of Busch. And by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source.
Todd Bodine is in victory lane at Darlington after winning Monday's NASCAR Busch Series 200-miler in quite spectacular fashion. And we continue on inside the NASCAR Busch Series to take a look at the Monday action now. Missed it? Had to do, something like go to work on Monday? You missed a beauty. And we're going to show it to you now with Randy LaJoie, Hank Parker Jr., and Ron Hornaday. Race summary, check out the margin of victory. Not much. 0.3 of a second, and just a little hint for you. One of the cars involved in that finish was going backwards at the time.
Yes, they
Just
were.
a front clip, maybe a rear clip.
Not much for the numbers, man, he says.
Yeah, I don't know if
You're usually outnumbered, not much.
if the purse actually paid for the race car going across the line that way.
It would be interesting to see how many wrecks have ever finished under caution like that. That was
Yeah, we were
pretty neat.
talking about that earlier, just trying to
Yeah.
remember different races that...
Terry Labonte is the last one I remember,
At Bristol,
Uh-huh.
yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit,
Yes.
though, talking about the finish. Before we show the start, let's go back to the early action. Remember, it rained on Saturday, pushed the race back until Monday when the green wave just after 11 a.m. Eastern time. Today, the track now had 400 miles of Winston Cup racing on it. You hadn't turned a lap on it since Friday. How'd you compensate, and how are the conditions different at the start of the race today from when you last ran on it?
Friday afternoon, happy hour we had Friday morning, I had a very good race car. I could run with the 10 car, and he was very fast. He was on top of the sheets both practices we had, and so were we. So I knew we had a good race car, and we did a 25-lap run, and I knew what I had Friday afternoon. And we made a slight adjustment, and I still had a darn good race car this morning. I mean, the track seemed to me the same.
I felt like it was pretty close. I mean, the same thing. I was pretty good in both practices, and made a lot of long runs. But when we started the race, I was really tight and loose at the same time. So it was cooler when we had happy hour. It was
How you do that?
10 o'clock in the morning.
Tight and loose?
I was out of control.
Okay.
We dropped some air pressure. Well, that's not saying much. Anyway, we dropped some air pressure. My car was a lot better, but the track seemed to be a lot different. There was a lot more rubber up high. You could get a little bit better grip in 3 and 4 really high, a lot higher than happy hour.
There's guys on the bottom, too, though. I mean, Todd ran the bottom a long time.
You know how many people said their cars were perfect? I mean, because I think it was the weather. We didn't have, we practiced the first day.
Yeah.
It rained, and also we come back the next day. It rained that night. We had fresh rubber, no rubber on the track again, so the cars really stuck good. I ran a 25-lap run. I thought I was awesome.
Yeah.
Watched the race yesterday. Ricky and I talked about it. We stiffened the left front spring a little bit. That's probably why I was a little loose getting in.
Just a little, yeah. I mean, Darlington's such a cool racetrack because for, 6 laps? You qualify for 6 laps. When you got
Superman.
sticker tires on, you run 6 qualifying laps as hard as you can. And it doesn't matter if there's 30 guys in front of you. You're just trying to whistle off some good laps. And then you go from being bonsai to being like, okay, let's not hit nothing.
Yeah. Somewhat conserving your tires. And I talked to one of the rookies before the race, after happy hour actually. He said, I don't know what's wrong with my car. I can start off holding it wide open through 1 and 2, but after about 10 laps, I can't do it anymore. I thought, oh, it sure is nice to have a little experience.
All right, Johnny Sauter took the lead from Stanton Barrett at lap 16, and the first caution came out at lap 27. Big pileup in turns 3 and 4.
You don't really see it, but right here, I probably jinxed Mikey there. I was telling him how good a line he had in the Cup race. I mean, he just really turned him off at too good and getting down in 3 and 4 and running it real high. And maybe he got up there a little too high in the marbles because a lot of the Busch guys don't run up that high, and there's probably a little kick.
Here we go.
There.
When you're past that gray,
Yep.
Oh.
So we got into the...
and then you just can't run over. I mean, that's one of the things that when you do get into the wall, if you don't pick the throttle up right away, you're going to get run over.
Sorry, Mikey, I jinxed him.
And that track is so abrasive that you can't slow down. And
No, you're sliding
when someone
tires.
hits the wall, it's like mega brakes, and then you don't have any. So
Well, plus you carry the
Kerry Earnhardt
momentum.
was really just a victim there.
And that was the second time Michael had hit the wall, and he suspected he had a right rear tire going down from the first time he hit the wall that caused the second wreck.
Driver's handbook, that's what it tells us.
There you go.
Not our fault.
Running side by side through turn 2 at Darlington is very difficult to do. We illustrated lap 36. It doesn't always work out. Mike Harmon's in the black car on the bottom, Regan Smith in the white car up top. This is going to leave a mark.
When you spin there, you got all the what they call it, seashells and sand down there. So, I mean,
It's
you're along
tough.
for
If
the
you
ride.
look at
once you
this
get
field, it
sideways.
kind of looks like the 44 is going straight, and he run into the side of the 22, and he hit the inside wall a pretty good clip.
So I'm trying to tell him that car I got at home, so I think you're going to have to buy it.
Okay.
Here's the whole problem. The track right there was made for one groove race on one wide. There's no
At
two
120
wide.
miles an
Yeah.
hour.
And we're going through there 140, 150 miles an hour side by side, and it's really rough and really bumpy right there.
That's fun, isn't it?
It's a
I don't want to
blast.
see
I love
some
it,
of them try to
but
go on the flat today.
sometimes it bites you.
Sometimes, as in that one. Just after the restart from that crash, more trouble, this time at the front of the pack. Racing for 4th and 5th places down into turn 3, Mike Bliss and Jamie McMurray. And Bliss gets the worst of this one.
It starts coming off of turn 2.
Exactly. So just what we were talking about. Two guys were racing side by side. The one car had a run, made it 3 wide. When they came back together, the 20 car and the one was there, and they seemed to actually hook.
Looked like Jamie went out a little bit to get a better line going in the corner, and when they touched, they got hooked up.
And I made
You know,
made Hornaday mad on this one.
Yeah, he tried to race me back to the yellow, and I thought we had a gentleman's agreement, but I remember who I was racing against.
Randy.
Randy's not a
Hold
gentleman.
on a minute. Well, I whistled down into turn 3, and the guys are wrecking, and the 20 car just takes a right, and I'm clear racetrack. Cool. I get back on the throttle. He's down in the apron. 2 or 3 cars slowed up, and I haven't told. They ain't said yellow. So
One more time.
I'm back
One
in the
more time.
gas. Easy. Oh, you can jump back. It was
When you
on a
did that,
corner.
I thought, man, your car was good.
Yeah, it was.
Mine was.
Oh, you couldn't. No, stickers, man. You could go. And I come out of 4, and then my spotter says caution.
And
Well,
he's
I kind
still
of looked
racing.
down, and Hornaday's behind me now. I mean, that's when I was told caution. I mean, I got him beat.
Now, do you believe that?
And we go back to the line, and boy, guys are
Driver's
going
handbook,
like 20
he said.
miles an hour. And
Not my
Hornaday's not
fault.
giving me a lot of room. And I was like, oh, look out.
And then we
Look out,
got
don't
there,
nothing.
and then we got there at the line, and everybody stopped.
I gave it back to you. I beat you to the line, and I gave it back. See, I was a gentleman.
You're a nice
You
guy.
know how good I was on restarts. You know what's going to happen going
Yeah,
to
you were
one
going to
way.
pass us anyways.
We
Your
move
turn.
on.
Yes.
The final caution came just before halfway at lap 62. Tim Sauter had problems down the front stretch.
Hey, they were told they had a flat left rear tire. 3 laps, and it didn't fix itself. Go figure.
Good news are great, but I don't think they can fix themselves.
And that was a pretty hard little hit there that Sauter took. And that started in turn
Watch
4. Watch this one, yeah.
Oh, how you
It's really hard to get slowed down, just like we said earlier. It's so hard because the track is so abrasive that your tires are just sliding across the seashells. And when you
You gotta
get
have
that
air in
angle,
them, too.
you can't stop, and you just hit the inside wall hard. What did you
So you
say?
got to have air in them, too.
Got to have
Yeah.
air in the tires.
The
Number
official-
1
if the
point.
officials tell you,
Tires are always better with air in them.
Very nice.
Always.
That crash
What'd you
was the
say?
How'd you spell it?
Sometime.
that crash was the last caution in the race. And coming up, this pass for the lead with 3 laps to go. Just a hint, things to come at the finish of the DarlingtonRaceway.com 200.
Look at
The NASCAR Busch Series continues on Speed Channel in a minute.
And they never touched.
It's inside the NASCAR Busch Series from Charlotte with Randy LaJoy, Hank Parker Jr., and Ron Hornaday taking a look at Monday's DarlingtonRaceway.com 200. We saw all the crashes and everything that happened all before the halfway point in the race. Then you get a long green flag run all the way to the checkered flag. On the long green run, Scott Riggs passes Todd Bodine for the lead. Then the question would become when and whether the leaders would pit. And then once they decided they would, when and whether he'd actually get on to pit road.
Yeah, it's pretty slippery down there.
What was he doing way
He
down
was
there?
pitting.
So we're in the backstretch.
Well,
Well,
hey,
it's-
I tried the same thing. It didn't work either.
Okay. What
try-
happened to you?
Nothing. Last time I missed it on pit road, I completely missed it. So I figured I'm going to start early.
And then what happened? You said Casey Kane went by you like
Yeah.
he was at the door.
You're not supposed to say that. Richard's probably watching it.
Well,
You lost a
somebody
spot in
was
the
watching.
pits.
You experimented with a line trying to gain time, and it didn't
Yes,
work out.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you.
right. When the guy passes you and he's dirt tracking it, you didn't do good.
You've got to commit early on that pit road to get in, or you'll miss it. And
Yeah,
Scott
that's
Riggs
right.
really didn't do a bad job right there. I mean, he got in hot. He was sideways. He was doing everything he was supposed to do because he came in sideways smoking his tires. That's what you want to see. Just started maybe a little early, but I think you got to start a little
As a
bit
driver,
early.
you want to see that, but the owner, you don't want to see that.
I like
the end results
Well,
is-
you're going to change them.
You
Smoke
could
them
almost
off.
miss
Let's
it.
go.
We've seen guys miss it. So, I mean,
Down
he
chipping.
didn't miss it.
I think
How many
everybody.
years?
I think Shane Mill was more mad at himself. Ran the whole race and only scratched the side of the car a little bit, the Darling stripe.
His
but he
wife
was
told
more-
his mom told me that.
Yeah, he was more
He didn't hit
mad about
nobody?
missing pit road.
Okay. Oh, I seen that. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Everybody had to do it once.
Yes.
I mean, I remember the first time I drove Dell's car there trying to come pit road. I spun out. So
No.
Shane, you didn't do bad.
Okay.
And Kurt Busch did it Sunday,
Yeah, he did.
too.
Yeah, but my results didn't come out like his.
It's all right.
How come?
How come? He said, how come?
You had power steering.
That's what it was. Excuse.
Okay. Stacy Compton and team chose to roll the dice and not pit, try to steal a win. Todd Bodine and Scott Riggs unlapped themselves with 21 to go. Compton's about 2 seconds a lap slower than the guys with the fresher tires. And
Why didn't Randy say it, keep his nose in there?
Because he's got experience. Like
Burns.
Darryl
I have
said.
no idea how
Did you
two
see-
of them got.
Did you see my right rear bumper cover?
Yeah, it was dragging the ground. He wasn't going to spin out. His
check it
bumper
out
cover's
now.
dragging the ground.
check out the 59 car leaving the bottom of the frame now. Now we're going to wait on Bodine, who's the second place car. And we'll wait. And we
we'll
can
wait
read a
slow.
small novel.
That right there is telling you
so
what
the
tires do.
92 car did very well coming out of the pits against the 10 car, because 10 car was leading when he went in, right?
There's the 92 back there.
And the 10, okay.
3/4 of a lap behind.
Well, tires are so
And how many
much.
laps to go?
That was a little less than 20 to go there.
And they caught him. Also, yeah, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
tires are
But
so much.
you got to look at what the 59 did. I don't know. I mean, what do you have, a 15th place car?
I think so. I mean,
where he run all day and he come out home fourth, and you know,
He
5
took a
laps
gamble.
short of winning the race.
I mean, we were going to do the same thing, but we were just getting so loose that we couldn't afford with people with new tires getting up there and you trying to hustle it too much and wreck the race car. Going for the championship like everybody does. We came out of there with a top 10. It moved us up in the points, but I mean, they took a gamble. Like they said, they had
Almost
2
worked.
weeks,
Yeah.
2 weeks of bad luck, and all of a sudden they come out there with a top 5 finish.
It's a good strategy for those guys. You got to pat them on the back.
And just back to what you were saying before, Riggs did lead Bodine off pit road, but then Todd passed him just a
Okay.
couple laps later. So he got up to speed a little bit quicker
Todd
on the
definitely
air
had a fast
pressures and
car.
things.
Yeah, he did.
That
Air
that they had.
pressures and things. Yes.
There you go. Can make a difference, right?
Yes, it does.
Thank
Makes
you.
a
You got to
big
have air.
difference.
Bodine and Jamie McMurray will get away from Riggs, and they eventually catch Compton with 3 laps to go. Remember we talked about 2 wide in turn 2 at Darlington? How about 3 wide in turn 2 at Darlington?
And just like Randy said, when you watch this, they haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is the onion's on the outside.
Jamie's done a good job keeping that thing.
Look at this.
That thing
Ooh,
off. And then
dog
it comes
head.
3 wide coming off there. And it's 2 wide right there. You can
That's
see
right.
him hold on.
Wow.
Awesome. I mean, Todd did a great job,
They-
and Stacy gave him room, and the 1 car, you know, definitely was good and held his own.
Yeah, these guys are going for it. It was
They don't need their
Good
car
racing.
for Bristol, I guess, but
There you go.
was
All right, so Bodine has got McMurray on his bumper. They take the white flag, and their cars look a whole lot prettier at the white flag than they do when they come back for the checkers. This is down the backstretch to turn 3, final lap.
your tires are wore out right here. You're doing everything you can. And McMurray just got a good roll and had his car rolling and stood on the gas with it hooked.
It looked,
You seen Todd wiggle.
yeah, I mean, Todd got loose. I mean, you really can't say much about that. If you're going for it,
I think Jamie
There it
did
is.
too.
they
Yeah.
both got
Boom.
loose. You got to go for it, you know. And
Oh, yeah.
Neither one of them have lifted yet.
But the only perfect thing what I was going to say is the race on the Cup race is if they were upside down going across the line. But this almost tops it.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, this
I don't know
have been
about upside down.
Boom.
You got one going across the line on 3 tires, and the other one going across the line backwards. That's a pretty good finish.
Yeah.
I was just commenting the whole weekend at Darlington, all 3 races with the truck, the Busch, and
And
the
they're going
Cup.
to take
was
one away
exciting.
from us.
NASCAR Busch Series racing, it just don't get
Well,
no
I
better. than
finally
that
drove
for
a
us.
race car. The AC Duffel car was great there, and I've had a lot of fun there. So I want to
It
go
is a
back
great
now. I think
racetrack.
I've learned a bunch.
Yeah.
You can race your
How many times you want to go there a year?
Two's good.
2's fine.
Two's fine.
Okay.
Two's fine.
But it
For the
was,
body men.
it was a great weekend of racing.
It was.
Yes, it was.
And if you missed it Monday, you missed the beauty. There was the finish, and let's show you now the finishing order from the DarlingtonRaceway.com 200. By the way, while we look at this, I'll remind you that there will be a NASCAR Busch Series revisited later this week on Speed Channel. So
Good
if you
job.
missed it, you can catch it again. I think it's Thursday.
I'll have to watch it.
There you go.
I finished
Let's see.
17th. Wow.
Bodine's 15th NASCAR Busch Series win. His team unsponsored. So some much-needed victory cash for them.
They had some good, I talked to one of the Herzogs that was there, and he says they're having some, he feels very good they're going to have something by the end of this week.
Positive meetings after something like that.
Good deal. All right, coming up next, we'll spend some time focusing in on our guest host, Ron Hornaday. We're right back after this.
we got one of you too.
They told me I hadn't seen that thing where we come back from commercial yet. Now I know why.
Okay.
Time to focus in on our guest host for the program. Ron Hornaday is here, former NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, now looking to win the Busch Series title with Richard Childress Racing.
Other numbers are
Thank you for that. I appreciate you pointing that out.
AKA.
AKA. All right.
Long way from winter heat, ain't it?
Palmdale, California.
How long you been racing? They showed that helmet scene putting on. You look kind of old.
LaJoy, you've been picking on me. You know, nobody's seen what was going on. We couldn't hound on you
Okay, here you
on
could.
TV, but oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
It's been a long time. I mean, RCR, AC Delco, everybody. This is a great opportunity. Ricky and I and the whole team. We haven't tested yet and everything. So every time we go out, this is probably the most time we've been on the track right now is at Darlington because we've been raining everywhere we went. Vegas it rained everywhere we've been, so we really haven't had a good fill of this 2003 body yet. So as soon as we figure out what we need on this thing, we're going to be good. It just we'll take a 9th right now and move on and move this up and 4th in points. So I'm pretty happy.
You're only gonna get better.
That's what they say.
Maybe if you slow down and restart, you could last longer.
That ain't nothing to do with it. You guys
No.
are slowing up. You know, if you guys get your head out of your mirror and quit worrying about where I'm at, you can actually catch a guy in front of you.
This is true. This is
You
true.
know, I got more people blocking me than worried about passing a car
I
in
haven't
front
blocked
of
you
me.
yet. I just laugh. I said, man, where'd he go? Where'd he come from?
But you know what? Todd Bodine, you know, I used to, last year when racing with the 5 car, they actually did the transmissions with Tom Buzzy, and Todd's running one of them transmissions, and he actually slowed me up enough where I spun my tires, and I can say he's the first one that made me spin my tires, so he's got a comparable gear ratio we got.
So, okay, we got a brake check before you when you're behind.
That's what it
brake
is.
check.
That's it.
But you know,
Okay,
I wasn't
good.
smart. It was too early in the race, and usually when they do that, you just lift them up and carry them to turn
This
one
is
where
true.
you want to let them go.
You ever done that?
Never.
Okay.
Well, I ask everybody every week if you're cheating, so I'm not going to ask you if you're cheating. I've thought of a better question.
Okay.
So, you came from California to Mooresville, North Carolina, to drive for a truck for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Now you're driving for RCR. You know, you've had your ups. You've had a lot of ups, but you had some downs when you were in the 14 car in Winston Cup. And just kind of what are your goals? What do you plan? Where do you see yourself down the road in the future?
Well, my kids are growing up and everything now, so I mean, I'm living my life right now. I mean, we done everything we could.
More than you always do.
Man, I had a good roll going, and then LaJoy just messed me up.
We'll have to check with Lindy on that.
Well, she knows.
Okay, so the kids are
24
gone,
years.
so now you're living.
Yeah, so now
wide
we're living.
open.
They're just wide open. You go out there and you race. You concentrate on everything you're doing. You know, when I was racing back in California, it was Saturday night racing. You had to work a job, then put shoes, you know, on the kids' feet, make them go to school.
I'm learning
and then worry
about
about
that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
so, thank you.
And now, when the Dale called me back, you know, 7 years ago, in 94, 95, and I drove his truck, that's right then I could start living. My kids are old enough and go on. And right now with RCR, I felt I'm back with a family because with Dale and Richard, and we raced against each other in the trucks, I feel like I'm back at home. These guys, a lot of the guys know me up there. I know a lot of the guys up at the shop, and it's right now just getting the gel around the Busch team because I've known a lot of truck guys, and they all still work there. So a lot of people know my background. They know I charge hard, so if we can get the car to fit underneath me, and I think we're going to be real good.
Along those lines, then, you said earlier you haven't tested yet with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Why? New team, new driver together, and so you talk about trying to get things together. So the thing that popped into my head was, okay, well, why?
Well, it's just building new cars, getting everything done with Johnny and Kevin, you know, splitting the payday ride. It's they've been doing all the testing right now, and we're trying to get their notes and trying to run everything we can with what they're running, and
It's pretty
we're
much a
still
new
learning.
deal, too, right? I mean, Ricky and the team is
Yeah,
some
we got new guys. A lot of
Yeah.
guys moved up to the Winston Cup shop and everything. I think we've only got 2 guys that stayed on from last year when Johnny drove it. So these are basically all new guys, and we're all learning together.
That's good.
Alan, you were paying attention. I'm impressed. You were listening to what he had to say.
Don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional.
Okay. That's where I missed it. Okay.
That's the same reason I think we were asking, how come we're not testing? But you've only get 5. You're dedicated
Yes,
one
you
already
do.
to Daytona. So if you're going for a championship, you need to get better at a racetrack. I think we're saving a couple towards the end of the year.
And they're also feeding off his other team. I mean, that's
Right.
one good thing.
That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
You know, what RCR has compared to a regular Busch team. I mean, like I said, Johnny and Kevin have been testing the 21 car. So, I mean, even though the cars aren't the same, I mean, you could go over there, like I seen Burton say, you know, they could take something that's out of Busch's car and bring it back, 4 springs, 4 shocks, put in his, and it ain't going to work.
Right.
It's the same thing. I mean, with RCR cars, but you can be very close. And obviously that's worked very well for him. I mean,
that's the biggest deal, to get the balance right now, the 2003s. You know, we're trying to depend on the Cups, but on the Cup cars, but the Busch cars actually have 3/4 inch more less spoiler. So our balance is not, maybe we get too much front fender, maybe we need a little more rear down. That's the stuff we're trying to learn right now, and we haven't been to super speedways, and Vegas is about the only thing we've been flat. And
we're coming to Texas.
I believe they're a little lower on the valence as well, so they do make overall down a lot more overall downforce.
Yeah, I mean NASCAR's done a great job aero matching these cars, and I think it's
truck racing. What's the difference driving a truck to your Busch cars? I mean, good cars a good car, good truck's a good truck.
You sit behind the steering wheel and you look out a window, you don't know what you're driving, you get a little more headroom.
That'd
be good for you. You need to race trucks, you don't bump your head no more. It'd be good, right?
This is true.
But the bad part is you hit the vent deal. So I mean, what were you looking down? Who are you hiding from? You actually look down to bump your head instead of looking up.
He saw a TV camera nearby, and he was in such a hurry to get to it that he wasn't paying attention when he got out the window.
No,
wow, Alan.
Chasing the camera. That's what
chalk one up for Alan.
I think that's what happened to me. I think Tony Rizzuti does my PR stuff over at AC Delco, and I think he's going to get fired this week because there was a rain delay, and I had my new shoes, and I didn't want to get them wet, so I kind of like hid out, and he got all mad at me because I didn't go do no radio on or no TV and stuff.
I bet you.
Remember last time I had bags on them?
Yeah.
I bet you he can.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you get a
so.
good perspective of what it's like for the hard-working television reporters and radio reporters slogging around in the rain, trying to entertain you at home and let you hear from the personalities you so want to hear from.
It's hard work.
And they're hiding out because they don't want to get their shoes wet.
Well, they were brand new Nike shoes.
Probably didn't pay nothing for them. You sure got another
The bad
pair.
part, if we went to go green and you've been in that position
He
before.
can get another set of Nike shoes if he gets those wet,
get stained feet.
Okay.
Yeah, and then your feet get steamy.
All right, enough of this. NASCAR Busch Series Championship standings after the race at Darlington. Todd Bodine's now the new point leader. Jason Keller, the first driver scheduled to run all of the races. He's in third. Can't be far back, is that what you said?
So, yeah.
How far back do you think you are?
No clue. 12.
12?
Okay.
154 points down. Randy, you can do it.
Knock 80 points off of that because that's the distance from Keller up to Todd Bodine, and there you go.
I'm good to go. We
You're
still
all right.
got plenty of time. This Kleenex car's coming.
Talk about the Darlington truck race next. Time for our NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series segment. Now, you know, somebody asked me the other day, why do we keep showing that toolbox? Well,
It's a Craftsman toolbox.
Besides the obvious sponsor plug, because they help pay for this program, we're going to give it away later in the year.
Oh, good deal.
So
I need one.
we haven't exactly been told how we're giving it away yet, but when we find out, we'll let you know. But just understand that that's coming later on. So, all right, good. Now time for our NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series review of the Craftsman 200 at Darlington. It's a pretty good race.
It was exciting. It's like I was telling you, the whole weekend was good. But I tell you what, these guys put on a great show. I was really proud of Brennan Gong. I mean, he actually ran them guys down.
He ran very well.
What do they call them? The guys that's been around there all the laps.
The veterans.
The veterans.
The
and I mean, he
veterans
caught
of
them
the
and
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And he passed them.
He probably had one of the best trucks.
He passed them,
not
gone
the
for the lead,
best.
and then yellow.
also-
Yellow came out. They pitted on the green, and he lost a little bit in there, but he came back to finish third.
Kevin Harvick had a very good truck. Also.
Yeah. All right,
he
let's
was
get started
driving the
looking
wheels
at
off that thing.
Ted Musgrave started third, quickly got to the lead. Rick Crawford worked the second in the opening laps. Here's the first highlight at lap 31. Caution for debris. There's something missing from David Starr's truck.
I've watched that whole thing. It was just what we were talking about in the Busch Series. You ain't gonna, two of them not gonna get in turn one, and that's what happened.
I think he might have brushed the wall and slowed up, and the guy behind him got in the back of him.
Right.
No, it was actually the guy was on the outside, and he actually drove up into him.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I bet we have a couple of looks at it.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Debris on the racetrack.
Yep,
That's all
but
it
his
takes.
side, there he goes. Poof. Oh, how you doing? So he hits a wall, and then he up there.
Oh, he actually took it off the guy.
That's a tough place to pass. You're always expecting the guy on the outside to lift, and when he doesn't, it's
Well, at
tough.
least go up a little bit. But
Yeah.
he had to run it down on the flat.
Black and red truck is Kevin Harvick. Got to third on the pit stops. He wasted little time in getting around Rick Crawford for second.
I was very upset at Kevin. He wouldn't let me drive his backup truck.
Well, he needed that for this
For all
weekend.
this weekend.
Yes. He had HarvickFans.com. It's something to do with the military families to raise money for.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
You mean you don't know?
Actually, I knew
You
it
don't
and I
have
forgot.
a phone number?
Well, there's how you're supposed to pass right now. They're side by side. veteran lift, give Kevin a groove, go back in there. He'll get another run and back on him later down the road.
Yeah,
and
that's
pass him
how
back.
it's supposed to be done right there.
I read the release on it or whatever it was, and then
You forgot, didn't you?
I hit the delete button on the computer and off it went. Most of that
Is that sort of
stuff.
like the debris through when the wife says something and you just kind of let it go through?
Oh,
There you go.
Okay.
83 laps to go. Kevin Harvick loses the lead to Ted Musgrave. But while Ted's trying to pass Kevin, Bobby Hamilton in the 4 tries to take them both at the same time.
Yep.
And coming up is the 62 of Gone, who I think he does later on, doesn't he?
yeah, this what happens. You get too wide there, it slows you up, and then Bobby gets a good run. I think he actually gets him coming off of 2.
Yeah,
This is start-finish line, and now we'll go down into turn 1 and 2. Remember that 3 wide thing we watched in the Busch Series race before? They almost tried it there.
There you go.
Brendan Gaughan's got his nose in there already with the 16 truck.
It's such a momentum racetrack.
Darlington's, all momentum. And when you break your momentum to try to pass someone, the guys behind you catch you. Then you've got somebody like Hornaday breathing down your neck with 10 laps to go. Can't mess up.
Yeah.
See, Musgrave held off Hamilton and held on to the lead, and as Harvick faded back, he would end up in the garage. Engine problems on the 6 truck. Set of green flag pit stops come up now, and the 1 truck, they have kind of a close call. It's a penalty if you leave the pit box with pit equipment.
Oh, I'll tell you, I watched this too. This is,
Yes.
I tell you what, that guy gets a data boy.
Yeah, he gets an E for effort.
And
They have, we got to cover, we got to find out what they do with the Busch Series with that McDonald's Powerade pit stops, because we also have the same thing in the Busch Series, and I think it's in the Truck Series too. Well, one of these days we'll cover that.
Watch the catch can man here.
it ain't going out. He's janking on that thing, I tell you.
He did a good job. That
He just wanted to get on TV. He had his new helmet on. You see that speed vision across it? He wanted to get on TV.
He was going to get on it no matter what with that on there, but
He got on TV. He did good.
he did.
So Musgrave's got a big lead after the pit stops, but with 23 laps to go, that advantage evaporates courtesy of the caution flag. 15 truck is Andy Houston, and we will see the beginnings.
I needed one of those Band-Aids from Nelly. Maybe that's the deal.
Randy's going to wear a Band-Aid. They said Nelly wears a Band-Aid on his face till his friend gets out of prison, right? And Randy's going to wear a Band-Aid on his head till I get a full-time ride.
That's why I don't have one on. I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Looking
This is a
ahead.
tight squeeze here.
Oh, the 2 truck has run over, I think that's twice this year. He's destroyed his front of his
racing
truck
machine.
by a
The
tire.
aerodynamics advantage of
Ouch.
the pick-em-up trucks.
Yes.
So here come the field to pit road for what would be final pit stops. And the crews are on the spot. That's Brendan Gaughan in the bottom there. You've been talking about, Ron.
Yeah, you know, he just switched to Dodge, and he's been running Chevrolet, and I kind of watched him because one of his sponsors was sponsored me in the Truck Series, and they left him, and he's coming out there, and he's actually running real strong and changing a whole team around and coming from all the way out in Las Vegas to travel at all these racetracks, and they're doing a great job. And to run the veterans down like he did, I think he's doing awesome.
See what he's doing coming out of pit road when he's pushing that guy? He's done set his speed at the beginning of that race, and that guy in front of him is probably 200 RPM off.
Off, right.
And boy, you just want to put that guy up on the hood and say, come on, pay attention, let's go. Because they don't
It
pay
costs you
attention.
so much time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you feel for Brendan because you can see he's trying to go, and the guy just either didn't pay attention on pit road speed or wasn't.
Or started too far back and you can't get a really good pace, or a lot of them guys will go up there and they get their pit road speed and they'll start swerving, and then you can't get yours. So if you're starting, like we had to start by points today, and we were 14th or 16th, and it was tough to get it. So I kind of judged it off the first time. I told them it was an RPM.
So how much? Okay, if you tell them it's an RPM,
Yeah,
how much do you go over?
I go under.
Okay.
Yeah, I never break the rules either. Never break the rules.
I want to see it because I think we all do. I want to see how far you go.
I don't. I actually
200 at least.
200 at least. Okay.
But we digress. The pit stops, Musgrave's crew holds the lead on both times. They came down pit road with the lead. But on the restart with 17 to go, keep an eye on that blue Dodge of Bobby Hamilton because he will go right after Musgrave for the lead.
I think they brought the air pressure up a little bit, what I understood, and I think if the race was a little bit longer, the 1 truck would have caught him back, because the 1 truck wasn't that good on short runs, but he was real good on long runs, and Bobby actually, they upped the air pressure on his, and he caught him.
Yeah, it's, Alan said earlier, air pressure, and you've got to have air in them. So.
Like I said, the only thing I hated about this race is I wasn't in it.
And also, I think this is Bobby's second truck race, and he got 2 wins there.
Well, last year came down to Bobby and him too, and they split a lap truck, and one went high and scraped the wall, and I think Ted came out winning the race on the last
First
lap.
win of the season.
Now watch Musgrave make a run at him in the final set of corners up in 3 and 4.
That's what you were talking about. A couple more laps,
Yeah.
you know, Ted would have been checked out.
Yeah, he was good on the long runs.
Hamilton just going to wiggle a little bit there off of 2, and here comes Ted.
Well, we didn't notice them bumps last year, and all of a sudden we got some more bumps coming off of 2 there, and then you hit it just wrong. It just your nose starts turning, the back gets loose.
Almost sort of like what happened today, but
They didn't wreck.
Close
Those are professionals there.
Those veterans.
Oh, veterans.
Veterans.
That's right.
Veterans.
All right. Good race.
That's right. Brendan Gall was 3rd and had a good day, especially at Darlington. I mean, here's a kid that's won Texas twice, and Texas just a little bit different than Darlington.
Just a little?
Just a little.
No, okay. Finishing order from Friday's Craftsman 200 at Darlington. Bobby Hamilton's 2nd win in 3 tries at Darlington Raceway.
That's impressive.
I think he's got it figured out.
Yes. Yes.
Nice run for Chad Chaffin. Good top 5 finish.
John Wood was good all day too, and then something happened to him. Both trucks overheated.
Both Roush's, yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're both running real good. Actually, the 99 truck was probably one of the better ones. He came up to the top 3.
He ran very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he put on a good show for never being there.
Yes.
Tina Gordon run 18.
Yeah. I watched her for the first lap she got on the track, and she progressed every lap. And I think the time I clocked her from the first time, she picked up like 9.5 seconds.
That's
So,
very easy to do.
That's pretty good to do that.
Championship standings now after a couple of races. Bobby Hamilton now the point leader by just 5 over Travis Quapolo. Craftsman Trucks running at Mesa Marin Raceway in Bakersfield this Sunday afternoon. Time now for Back in the Day, where we take a look at a current Winston Cup driver's time spent in the NASCAR Busch Series. Elliott Sadler scored his first Winston Cup Bud Pole Award at Darlington this past weekend, so we'll put him in our Back in the Day spotlight. His time in the NASCAR Busch Series came in the late 90s. Experience he knows was pretty important to his racing career.
I don't know if you ever know until you make it here. I felt really lucky in the situation I was in with Diamond Ridge Motorsports in 1996. Really, we're running some good races and doing very well in the Busch Series. I started thinking, you know what, with a little bit of luck, I might can make it to Winston Cup. And just because I think I was in the right situation, had a great crew chief with Sandy Jones that really was getting me going in the right direction, the experience he had. And I think just having the right opportunity better my chances of making it. And when I started getting some phone calls in 97 and 98, felt like I was going to make it. It was a pretty good feeling to have.
Elliott Sadler now driving for Robert Yates Racing in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. What were you saying?
What happened to his eyebrows? He had them when he was younger. They cut them off.
Maybe as part of his move to the big buck Winston Cup sponsor, he got a fashion consultation or something.
Good deal. But 2 thumbs up to Elliott. He almost won the race yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, the best part about it, he switched to my seats.
I knew that had a point.
I'm surprised you don't have one sitting in here. You're sitting in it.
In due time. We did a segment on it first week.
You know, anybody should buy your seats because you're the perfect example when you used to race with somebody else.
Well,
how many times you wrecked.
Well, all those years you were out getting truck championships, I was out messing with this kid named Buckshot. I was a crash dummy.
So you're trying your own seats out.
Yes, I was.
Okay,
we can go somewhere else.
Let me recap this segment for you. Elliott Sadler, unibrows.
No.
Did he have one?
You said he did.
Oh, okay.
Then where we go? Oh, seats.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big wrecks.
Buckshot.
Buckshot.
And he almost won the race yesterday. He had a very good M&M's car.
Did a good job. And
You know what? You get everybody else's sponsoring but yours.
Highly structured program we got going here. Saturday, NASCAR Busch Series racing on FX from Bristol. There'll be a few wrecks for us to talk about after that one. Coverage at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, Saturday on FX. It's time now for Speed Fan Q&A. your weekly topics of inquiry to our panel. And we begin with the question from Charles Lawrence about tires. Wants to know, are the tires Goodyear takes to attract the same for both the Busch and Winston Cup teams?
Well, they still have to have air in them. Like we said earlier. Yeah.
What's it, 4 different compounds? Both, yes, they are the same tires from Winston Cup to Busch Series.
Yeah,
We are limited. We only have 3 sets of tires a race, except for at Darlington and Rockingham where we get an extra set. But the Winston
I
Cup
only
is
got 3. How many did you get?
I got 3.
Yeah, 3, whatever.
Okay.
Don't we get an extra set?
You probably did. That's why you finished.
I ran so good. I thought we got an extra set.
You did get an extra set, I guess.
Winston Cup guys are unlimited on their tires.
Yeah, so they can come in there and pit, and they are the same compound for both, so you can intermix.
Next question from Kenny of Virginia has to do with when qualifying is rained out. He asks, when Busch Series qualifying was canceled at Las Vegas, Mike Bliss in the 20 got the 5th starting spot from owner points last year. But last year, Mike McLaughlin drove the 18 car. So shouldn't the 5th spot have gone to Coy Gibbs?
Same owner.
Well, they switched.
Coy got the wrong end of the stick,
numbers.
but right. They switched numbers. The team stayed the same.
And Coy was lucky to get in the race also.
I heard it came about from a coin toss. It was a double-headed Indian coin toss when they were swapping points. So the whole thing was rigged.
A lot of them, you see that same thing with the 48 car. You know, he was
47
last year.
Now he's 48,
Right.
so I get confused when I'm around him. I'm like, is that Kenny? No, that's Shane. Kenny, Shane. Kenny, Shane. Kenny, Shane.
Go on. Come on,
Done a
Alan.
very effective job of not answering that question. If you've got a question you'd like us to attempt to answer and probably not come through for you, here's how you get it to us.
To submit your questions, visit speedtv.com. Go to the program section and look for Inside NASCAR Busch Series.
Bam! Oh, hard to the wall. Not going to be very happy eventually. Here we go. Wreck-It, turn 2. The 38 goes around. Our green. Now. Bam! White flag. That flag. They got to run to the checker. This is it. Spencer's going to come back down.
On the apron.
Oh, he shouldn't have done that.
No, he gave up 2 or 3 positions and turns Jack Sprague harder than the inside wall.
Jeff Green wins it. And on the last lap, we set a record for the number of cautions. Now Sprague, after that wreck, is out of his car, and he is running toward Jimmy Spencer's car. Here we go. You have seen how fenders and tempers can fly here at Bristol.
Okay, so that was last spring at Bristol. I wonder what we'll get this time around.
Started already at Darlington.
Yeah, this is true with the finish.
Yes, sir, already.
Yep. Turns banked more steeply than Daytona or Talladega on a half-mile track. Action is the name of the game. Okay, so here's what I want to know. Last year in 250 laps, we had almost as many caution flags as we had in the 500-lap Winston Cup race the next day. Will we do that again?
Very good possibility. Anytime Bristol, you make a decision in minute seconds like you seen Jimmy Spencer did at the end, and you seen Kevin Harvick make a decision at the end, and if it's not the right decision, there's going to be a yellow. And you know, there's been a few yellows in cup races because I have a little party we do jello shots at, and I mean, there's been quite a few of those jello shots. Hornaday's been there.
I didn't
No
stay for
comment?
the first 10 yellows. I had to go home.
All right, we're almost out of time, so we're going to stop here. It's full coverage this weekend across the Fox networks. All the action from Bristol. Don't miss it. Got the Craftsman Truck Series race late Sunday afternoon on Speed, so adjust your schedules for Sunday evening down a little bit. Speed News and then Victory Lane going to be about a half hour later than normal. There you go, Speed News NASCAR edition, 7:30 Sunday after the truck race gets through. And we're just about out of time. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming by.
Got to do it again.
Hope so.
It was a lot of,
See you guys
a lot
next
of
week.
fun. And
Kleenex car's ready for Bristol.
When they're counting backwards
AC
down
Delco
towards
gonna
zero,
work.
that means we're out of
That
time.
means
Okay.
Yes, a little TV tip for you.
See you, race fans.
See you next
See you
time.
guys.